Welcome, drivers, petrol heads, and posers, to Forza Drift Events Season 5. We are here, round 1 at Ricardo Tormo circuit in Spain, and we are ready for the qualifying day of round 1. It is going to be an incredible season ahead. I hope you all are excited. I know drivers are in the lobby ready to put down their qualifying times, and of course not without introducing our staff for this season. We do have some new names on the judges panel and joining me here on the casters panel. So without further ado, of course, I am Shunzi, your host for season 4 and now season 5. I am joined by a new face. It is Addict Actual. Yeah, so Addict Actual, long-time drifting connoisseur, been enjoying, of course, Formula Drift and many other leagues for many, many years. Long-time Assetto Corsa player, Forza player, and is now going to be helping us on the judges panel as our USA judge for the line score, our lead judge as well. We also have Born Sideways coming in from Canada as our angle judge, and of course the owner and organizer of Forza Drift events. It is FDE Shreddit, going to be judging the style category of today. And yeah, we are ready to get going. Of course, thank you guys for joining over on YouTube, youtube.com/Forza Drift Events. If you guys are excited about the season, maybe you aren't a driver. Of course, I'm sure a lot of our viewers are drivers waiting in the wings to get their chance to go on the track. But for anyone who is curious about more information about FDE and what we do here, ForzaDriftEvents.com. We have a brand new look by our FDE web developer, Hot Like Soup, an incredible gentleman, if I say so myself. He's done an incredible job with the rebranding for Season 5, along with Shredded, of course. So yeah, we have lots of great stuff ahead. Let's go ahead and get right into it with the track showcase. So of course, here we are on Ricardo Tormo. We have our 3-2-1 cones on the right-hand side, going into initiation for an immediate outside zone 1 right before this long left-hander. And be careful, a decel zone is right before inside clip 1. Drivers are going to have to manage speed here, maybe with some left foot braking. And this zone right here where rumbles are allowed, outside zone 2, is definitely going to be challenging. A lot of drivers have issues here. We'll see what happens today. Inner clip 2, swinging out wide right before the long haul down another kind of straight zone. It's going to be interesting to see how drivers manage their speed here. Of course, today is just qualification, so all you got to do is put pedal to the metal and do your best. But tomorrow, when we get into those tandems, we're going to be seeing a lot more challenge for these drivers, especially these chase drivers, because of how thin the track is. And of course, after the long haul through outside zone 4, we have the end of the judged section. Of course, I am actually interested in hearing Actual, what you think about this track. Where do you feel like we're going to be seeing the most, I guess, mistakes? Where are drivers going to be most challenged?
You got to shallow up a lot to get that right and to get the speed to get to that next inside clip. And in the chase, that is a hard thing to keep up with.
Yeah.
So if you can keep up with them, stay on throttle, stay as close as you can to them there, I think you will do well.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's take it over to Keys to Victory and check out what we have for our drivers to take a look at. And of course, all the fans here on YouTube, kind of what the judges have decided to be the greatest tips for Ricardo Tormo. We have a smooth entry. Of course, a great run always starts with a great initiation through the very, very close outer zone 1. There's not a lot of distance between that initiation 3-2-1 cone into outer zone 1, and followed closely by inner clip 1 as well, taking a wide line out to outer zone 2 where rumbles, putting your tires on those red and white rumbles is going to be allowed, and it's probably going to be crucial for drivers to to get a solid line through this zone, so that way they don't lose too much speed and momentum and start driving straight. So that's definitely going to be a challenge. Of course, staying midline through inner clip 2, take an outside line to fill OZ3 completely. Smooth transitions, snappy transitions into, out of OZ3 into the middle of the track. This is where the track gets a little bit thinner right here. It's going to be interesting to see when we have these drivers going head to head. But of course, some more snappy transitions, quite a few transitions on this track. And of course, OZ4 is that nice long outer zone where drivers can really maximize their angle and show us how much control they have over their vehicle. And of course, the finish line. So let's go ahead, and I think we're ready to get going. I'm sure we have a driver on the track already. Let's go ahead and take it over to Spain and see who is up first. There we go. I was worried for a second. We don't like to see a black screen, but here we are. Let's go ahead and turn off current scores, as we do not have anyone up there just yet, but you can see on your screen right here, right now, it is Apollo Creed as our first driver qualifying in FDE Season 5 Round 1 in Spain. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Apollo Creed, a returning driver, driving for CCX in a little bit older of a Camaro, but let's see what they got. We gotta make sure we can keep up here in the camera card. We can see everything that needs to be judged. Clean looks. There's that difficulty. Ooh, see, there we go. We have a little bit of a snafu through outer zone 2, but it looks like he's maintaining control, not giving up. Of course, drivers do have the option to go for a DNF before the end of the judge zone, but it looks like Apollo Creed is going to just take that run and set it down. What do you think of that first run, Actual?
Man, it was really good. He definitely missed outer zone 3. He missed a good bit of that. Just barely got, I think, one tire in there, and was a little tight on some of the inside clips. But other than that, pretty solid run. Yeah.
Definitely going to be losing a few points for line there. I'm not sure about angle per se, because the angle was good through outer zone 4, but that zone, I mean, we're going to have to see how many drivers and how the drivers are able to manage that area. It looks like we have word from Judge 3, style of 25. Angle judge of a score of 24. So we're at 59 here. Gonna definitely want to venture into that 70s range. We have a 75. All right, Apollo Creed with a 75 for our first run of the day, first run of Season 5, and definitely a solid score. We'll have to see how many drivers we have today. The more drivers we have, the more chance there is to be knocked out with those kind of 70s range scores. Let's go ahead and, oh, 1 second here. Make sure I don't lag out of that. Okay, let's take it back over to the track and see who we have up next. It is another familiar face. Another familiar face in FDE. It is CCX Crazy Yoda.
Man, I've done a lot of laps with Crazy Yoda, and he's definitely made some progress over the last few months.
Hey, he did pretty well in Season 4, so that improvement in the off-season, let's see if we can see what he worked on here now. Beautiful through inner clip 1 and outer zone 2. Very solid angle through there. It's nice and snappy transitions, really looking familiar on this track. You can see the seat time and Crazy Yoda, looks like that's going to be a DNF at the very last second. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or perhaps a little bit of nerves getting to him at the end of that run.
It's hard to say. Definitely hard to say.
Definitely a solid run there. Definitely a solid run.
Throwing caution to the wind.
Yeah. I'm very surprised to see how well he was able to handle that outer zone 2. Going through outer zone 4, he was a little bit shallow on the line, but, you know, I think with that DNF might actually help him. I'm sure he'll be able to get back into the groove of things and revisit OZ2 just as nicely as he did the first time. But of course, as you're on your screen, we do have FPS Noob coming up next. The DNF drivers will be revisiting the track after the rest of these convoys are complete. And here we have on the track, it is another familiar face, FPS Noob coming back to Season 5. Looks like he's in an R33, looking good. Let's see if his line matches the beautiful livery on that car. Holy cow, he's speeding off like a madman. Big initiation. There's that usage of the red and white rumbles there on the outside. Coming out wide to make sure you fill those zones completely. Nice and deep in the outer zone here. Very good finish. Absolutely good stuff.
Solid run.
Yeah.
Solid run.
Good stuff from FPS Noob. A little bit of a tactical reset there. What's up, Sir Seek? Neb on FPS. What is that? Pogo the Clown. Samek. Unbeek. Good to see you guys over there on YouTube. We have a 29 for style for FPS Noob. $26 for angle. And a 29 for our line judge. A total of 84 for FPS Noob, taking that #1 spot happily into the 80s range. Definitely a good place to sit, as the rest of these drivers are definitely going to be putting as much as they can, leaving it all on the track. We have, of course, another driver waiting at the line. It looks like it's going to be Infa Faded. Looks like Infa Faded is driving for YSS. Why So Serious? Familiar name here in FDE.
Definitely done some laps with them guys too. They are very talented drivers.
Oh yeah, very serious drivers here. Definitely fast, going into a pretty sweet initiation there. A little bit wide, missing inner clip 1. Outer zone 4 looking good. I would not be surprised if we see a DNF here. Yep, that is exactly what we see. Going for, of course, a better score there. That line score would have taken a big hit because of that miss. Of course, that should just be a pretty quick DNF for Infa Faded. Just a little bit too much sauce on the entry there, right?
Oh yeah, just overcooked it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Had to hit that decel zone just a little bit more.
Yeah. Of course, the drivers going through the drivers meeting and kind of just waiting around for the event to finally get started. It's easy to kind of cool down before you get to the line. Yeah. So definitely taking the advantage for a second run is absolutely part of the strategy here. On the line we have, formerly known as MFA, but now known as LFA. Another familiar face. It's great to see everyone back in Season 5. I know I keep saying familiar faces, but it's great to see everyone back, man. I'm glad you guys are here, ready to compete. And, of course, an awesome track here in Spain. Let's see. LFA's first run of the season. Big initiation, lots of angle through there. Wow, that was a crazy angle. 90 degrees through that initiation. Deep into OZ4 here too. Lots of angle, looking beautiful, absolutely incredible. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely is going to be that I would not be surprised to see a 30 plus score there for angle. $31 for style. The style score coming in clutch for Elfe. Definitely going to be happy with that. Now, if we can get 30s for the angle and line, this could be our first score of 90 for the day, and it is indeed a 91 for Elfe. Happily taking that #1 spot so far. That's going to be a tough one to beat. That's going to be a tough one to beat.
Definitely a good run. That was a very good job.
That's just seat time. Prepared, knows exactly what he has to do with his inputs to make that car go exactly where he wants it to be. Definitely taking some risk with how much angle he was able to put down as well. A lot of drivers might be a little bit scared to oversteer in those situations, but not Elfe, and it paid off. Up next, we have Neb on 60 FPS in one of my favorites, the E92. The camera car is a bit different this season, so we're going to be warming up with this. Oh, big burn through the initiation, going out far wide. Definitely, it's smart to do what Neb is doing here, though, just to continue the run, warm up a little bit, practice the rest of the zones, get it settled in. And then right before we finish the end of the judge zone, just whip it off track so that way okay, that is going to be a completed run. I am surprised. Neb on FPS, Neb on 60 FPS, I guess happy with that run, although it was pretty clear that outer zone 1 was missed. That's going to be a big hit to the line score. Again, for any drivers who are waiting in line, in order for you to attain a second run, you do have to DNF your first run. If you cross that finish line, your run is set in stone. So perhaps a little bit of a strategic error, but hopefully still going to make it into the 70s range, and it looks like just shy of 70s. It's going to be Neb on FPS with 68. Strategy is absolutely part of the game here. It's not just about how well you can drive, it's how well you understand the name of the game. All right. A high-tier podium driver from last season. It is Renga, otherwise known as the 242 Renga, in the classic Volvo that he loves so much. It's practically a meme at this time, but let's see what Renga has here for us in Season 5, Round 1. Not too hot off the line. Looking calm, cool, and collected through that initiation. Very good angle. This is where you get a little bit more difficult here, but handling it very well. Good angle even through that difficult rumble zone. Smooth transitions through here and finishing it off through OZ4 with beautiful angle, style, smooth as can be. 242 Renga, we definitely have come to expect high running scores from Renga.
Definitely was another good, really good fourth outer zone.
Yeah.
I liked the way he put it in there and kept the angle. It looked really nice.
Yeah. Seeing the drivers cover the entire zone with their car, their back tires just touching the edge of the track, and being able to follow that line all the way through, and just the smoothness. It's that style score coming in clutch for Renga here. A 30-30 for style and angle and line. It is going to be a total of 90 for Renga. Just shy of Elfe's 91, but nonetheless, a 90s club score. 2 so far on the day. I'm sure Renga's going to be happy with that. Very well done. Good to see you, Shake and Bake, my good friend. Nice to see you. Let's see here. Trash U Borka is on the line. All right. I'm going to take off here. A bit speedier off the line. I got to be a little bit better with this camera car. Going through inner clip 1. Outer zone 2 with good angle and control here. Can he make it all the way down this alley, though? He can indeed. Nice transition. Man, this is textbook. Little bit of tires on that black outer area, but a freaking solid run. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not so sure about how to, I mean, you're the judge here. How is the line score going to be affected by drivers going, dipping their tires onto that like black tarmac on the outside of outer zone 4?
So I'd like to see the deep commitment of going off like that, but to be honest, I'd rather you stay on the track and maybe even just be on the inside of the zone versus dipping a couple tires off. So to me, it affects it just a little bit more.
Okay. So yeah, drivers beware. There is going to be a little bit of judgment if you're dipping those tires on the outside of OZ4. Of course, the commitment is, I mean, just as a fan, it's beautiful to see, but definitely might leave us a point or two on the floor there. But of course, happily into the 80s. It is an 83 for Trash U Borka, another familiar face coming back in from previous FDE seasons. Great to see you. Great run. And we have up next Fire Eater. Perhaps a new face. Beautiful livery, looking prepared in this Lexus. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, I really like the livery on that car. It's nice.
Oh, drivers put in the time to not only get going on their skill and put in seat time for the track, but also to look good doing it. Just adds another layer.
No, it does.
Very interesting entry here. You can see this driver not utilizing the rolling stick technique that has become almost a standard in FDE, but nonetheless doing very well with the transition. Still fairly smooth, but a little bit of oversteer here at the end. Just couldn't hold it there at the end of the OZ4. But that's okay. Drivers, of course,
give him another chance.
Have another chance. There you go. Yeah, Shake and Bake. We have, of course, Addict Actual joining me on the panel here. He is our lead judge of the season. So there are going to be moments where I pull in some opinions and some insight into what the judges are going to be thinking. But up next, we have Kenu. Oh, I love this car. I'm sure you guys will too. Let's take it to the track. Check this out. Love to see a super on the track. I'm hoping Kenu throws it down right now. I'd love to see a solid score here. Cones are flying everywhere. Lost a little bit of speed there. Gonna go through that zone a little bit straighter than he might have wanted, but a little bit of oversteer, and that's the end of the run. Going off track. That's a DNF. It was looking good, but perhaps just not able to get that transition initiated.
Well, it seemed like maybe where he lost the angle, and then when he tried to get it back to angle, it just kept going on him. He couldn't hold it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely easy to do.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, not every driver. Some of these drivers are going to have many hours on this track, and other drivers might just be joining us and only a few hours on track, might have maybe a few runs to practice, but to get to the top of today's qualifying scores, you're gonna need to have that experience. Either that or you're gonna have to be a savant or something, because this track is no joke. We do have Crazy Yoda up next. He is a DNF driver from earlier, so this looks like it is going to be the start of our DNF drivers lift. This is a do or die situation for Crazy Yoda. I know he doesn't want to be done here and now, so when it's all on the line, what can Crazy Yoda throw down? Now, Crazy Yoda had this in the bag the first time around, and it looks just as smooth, if not better, through his second run. A little bit of grass on those tires there. Let's see if he can hold it through OZ4. That's a lot of angle, but he's looking settled in. Very good run. Love to see the spinnies afterwards.
Happy he made it.
Yeah, exactly. Get those endorphins in from a little bit of adrenaline going into the track, hitting a nice initiation. We have a style score coming in. That might be the heaviest style score of the day at 32 points. This could be the top score of the day, taken away from Elfe. $31 for Angle, and a 28 for Line. That is going to be a 91. I believe that is tied with Elfe for the highest run so far. Of course, we only have one convoy in so far, but yeah, a 90 score is a 90 score. Very difficult to dip into those 90s. Of course, we have not seen anything over 95 yet. I'm excited to see the potential for like a 98, 99. Those runs are always kind of magical to see. But here we have Info Faded, another DNF driver. This is make or break. That area right there, OZ3, I believe, definitely causing drivers to dip a tire or two on the grass there. You can see the shreds of grass flying up. It might be a point or two off for the line score, but nonetheless, a solid run, and more importantly, a completed run for Info Faded. Man, I will tell you, I agree. For the chatter on YouTube, I do miss seeing WK Gutter. I do not think Gutter's going to be joining us today, but my favorite driver from Season 4. Absolute elite driver. Info Faded here and now with a 28 from Style Judge number 3. Now, even, you know, of course, we all want to see scores of 90 plus, but a safe score anywhere between 80 and 90 is a very happy place to be to make it into tomorrow's top 32. And it looks like Info Faded, yeah, can definitely make it there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can't win in qualifying. You gotta win in the competition.
Exactly. You just gotta make it to that top 32. We have a score of 83 total for Info Faded. Definitely happy with that. And I think we have a couple more DNF drivers left. Yep, we do have Fire Eater coming up next. This was that super that I liked so much. Was only able to make it past Inner Clip 1 and Outer Zone 2. Oh no, this is not the super. This is the Lexus. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see what he's got. A little bit slower off the line. Not as much grip as you might want. Very heated. Lots of smoke coming out of those tires through the initiation. Definitely overcooked it. Let's see if he can maintain control of this vehicle through these other zones. Of course, the line score is going to be deducted just a hair. But you just got to finish the run here. It doesn't need to be perfect, but just not DNFing your run, and that is exactly what Fire Eater was able to do. It might have not been the perfect score he was looking for, but a completed run nonetheless. Let's see how the judges fare on that. We did see him miss the first clipping zone or the first inner clipping zone after that initiation. Line score of 20, a style score of 19. Now, we did see a score earlier from Neb that I believe was a 68. Now, any number of drivers you can score ahead of is gravy. So we'll see if Fire Eater is able to get above that 68 mark. If not, he might be shaking in his boots a little bit. Looks like that is going to be a score of 58 for Fire Eater. Great effort. One thing I love about drivers who make a very easy and common mistake early on is seeing the drivers not give up. Fighting through, you know that this is the last chance you have to put down your score, not giving up, fighting through the rest of the track and making the most of it. We'd love to see that. Up next, we have Kenu. Now this is the Supra. It looks so damn good. Let's see if we can get a good looking run. Dipping those tires back onto OZ4, and he was able to keep it before the end of the track. Oh man, that was butt clenching right there. I thought he was in a DNF. Yeah. Holy.
So close. He's definitely going to take a big hit, but so close. He at least did get a completed score.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have two zones, right, Seek? We have two zones that are so close to the initiation zone. You really can't just pull your e-brake and slide happily through the track. You have to be there's a lot of control necessary early on this track. So your initiations have to be on point. You have to know how much speed and momentum you have going into that first corner, really. Very easy to overcook, very easy to miss that first inner clipping zone. A 22 for Kenu here for style. 17 for line, definitely having trouble hitting those zones, of course, at the end of OZ4. Total score of 62 for Kenu. And I believe that is it for this convoy. We're going to go ahead and get another group of 12 drivers in here, and we'll be back after these messages.
Forza Creators Guild.
Forza Creators Guild.
Skill, but you gotta keep it on the track. Something else I have noticed, there's a lot of people have gotten on the inside of the clip or the inner clipping points. You know, you gotta be on the outside of them. If you push out a little bit better, it'll help line you up better for your next run.
Right. We are having some unfortunate technical difficulties right now. It looks like I am in purgatory in Forza Horizon 5. We do have a convoy put together, but we're having some network connectivity issues. I'm like in a convoy where there's no gamer tags or no clan tags or club tags, which usually means something's going on. Let me just make
travel around. That usually helps with that.
Okay, let me give that a shot here. I might have missed the invite, but I never saw it on my screen, so we might have to chat up the YouTube viewers here for a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I made it in, so we'll have to contact our man Shreddit and see if we can get another convoy going here. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But how are you guys doing over there on YouTube? How have you guys liked the run so far? How many of you guys are still waiting for your turn to get on track? Gunner and Gambit, for sure. I loved seeing Gunner every round. I don't think he was in every round last season. I think he might have missed one. But always a high-tier driver, always putting up good scores. So smooth with it, every single track. Yeah, definitely nice runs for everyone. I'm going to be last in order for Convoy, too. I mean, there's pros and cons for going first and last, I think. Of course, the longer you wait for your turn, the colder you're getting, right? Because you got to be, I guess you could be just technically, like, drifting around in free roam. Volvo. I think you might be the only one driving the Volvo today, Ranga.
Good to see a variety of vehicles, though. I don't want to see everybody in the same car.
Yeah, I don't want to see 52 Sylvia S15s. You know what I mean?
Or a bunch of Mustangs or nothing like that.
Exactly. The variety makes it more interesting. Also, it kind of, I don't know, I feel like sometimes you end up having drivers who kind of show like, hey, this car Like last season, we had, man, who was it? I think it was Dead to You, who came in with the Lincoln Co. 03 Plus, and he called it the Hornet. I love seeing that. I love seeing out of ordinary cars being thrown around tracks here.
Oh, I love that car. I actually had one that I built to drift in before. It was a fun car to drive.
Yeah, I love that car too. It's like I believe it's a Chinese manufacturer, but it's like a Chinese like Charger. Honestly, it's really good looking. Over here, got a good amount of my team waiting. Can't wait. Team NXLG. We'll definitely be seeing you guys on the track. Of course, I've only been around for 2 seasons now, but I'm sure there are drivers who have been around for, you know, maybe season 2 or 3 before I came around. I haven't seen NXL before, but it's always good to see new names in the community. Of course, it is an open drift series with across the board the same rules for everyone. So, seeing new drivers, seeing veteran drivers, everyone's on an even playing field here. Will it spin? JDM1, I see. Well, we are loading into the track. Let's go ahead and take a brief look over at the track showcase one more time, just to give people another view at what we have going on here in Spain. Outside zone 1, so again, very early in the initiation, you have an outside zone and then a decel zone and an inside clip, all within like 50 or 60 yards of one another. It is a very active track early on. Inside clip 2, this is where you're going to see people. You got to have enough speed to get down this long way here. This zone right here is where we're seeing a lot of line spores take hits. That grass on the outside line, it's very obvious when your tires dip onto that. So being careful there is going to save you a few points for your line score for sure. And here we have just a little bit of that rear left tire in the showcase going on to the tarmac there. But still a very solid run. Of course, this is the example we show our drivers in the drivers meeting before the start of the event. And I'm going to let this play through one more time while I make my way over to the starting line. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys all for joining, and we appreciate your guys' patience here as we get ourselves situated. Of course, for any more information, whether you like to take a look at the rule book or the track list for this season, go check out ForzaDriftEvents.com, www.ForzaDriftEvents.com. All right, we are on the line, and I think I know who that is based on just their car alone. I think that's Bubba. I think that's Bubba.
Definitely Bubba. X on the side of it.
All right, that is the end of the track showcase. Let's take it over to the track. What were you going to say there, Actual?
He's got a lot of seat time in that Corvette.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He can definitely drive that Corvette.
Yeah, Bubba's been dialing in this Corvette. I mean, all throughout last season, I believe he was in the same vehicle. Of course, there's going to probably be some changes, some tuning done specifically for round 1 here in Spain. But let's see a veteran driver, a podium driver, back on the track in Season 5. Lots of grip early on, taking that wide stance for the initiation. Lots of angle and a little bit too much on the tires there. And Bubba says, I'm going to call it right there. You see a lot of drivers who make a mistake like that just say, hey, I'm going to finish this run and DNF right before the end of the finish line. But Bubba says, no, I am going to call it right there early. I know what I can do, and that was not it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, if I were him, of course, I'm not as experienced or anywhere near as proven, but I would just go through the rest of the track just to, you know, heat up my wheel, if anything. But anyways, here we have on your screen Cade Vine coming up next. Beautiful E92. Cade Vine, another familiar face in FDE. Let's see what he's got in round one. Man, this camera car needs some more juice, but we have caught up. We have Cade Vine hitting both first zones very well. Great control with speed through that area. No tire dipping right there. And OZ4 is looking absolutely solid. A great run from Cade Vine.
Definitely a solid run from him.
I believe Cade Vines was in several different cars last season. It's great to see familiar faces because you can see the evolution of their skill as well. You can see drivers putting in the time to practice, to learn their tune, to learn their car better, to make choices on their build, and come back with an incredible run there. 28 for style and 29 for line. This is a happy, well into the 80s score here for Cade Vine. It is an 86. Solid score. Great to see you again, Cade Vine. Okay, let's go back over here, and we have on the line IAO Ghost. Very deep into the cones there. Doesn't give a shit about those cones. But good initiation. A little bit shallow on that inner clip, but ooh, some tire dipping there on that outer zone. It's going to be difficult for drivers to utilize those rumble packs, those rumble strips without going over. Bit of an awkward line here through these last few sections. Looks like he wants to keep that run on the board, though.
Chauncey, if we could get the scores up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're very true. I need to do that. Yeah, definitely having some problems early on, actually kind of middle of the track there. It looked like a decent initiation, a little bit shallow in interclip 1, but after that, having trouble keeping the car sideways, a little bit of trouble keeping the car on the track as well. So it looks like IAA Ghost is going to have another attempt later on. But it is now Lurski's chance here in round 1. Another CCX driver and familiar face in FDE. Let's go ahead and put up those current scores at the top of your screen so we can see exactly who is leading the pack today. And of course, Lurfy and Crazy Yoda tied for a 91. With Ranga not far behind, and that rounds out your 90s score of the day. Let's see if Lurski can make his way into the 90s club. Snappy transitions, that looked really smooth.
Definitely a solid run from him.
Yeah. Let's take it back over to the judges panel. I mean, I'm in the driver's seat of the camera car, and I'm just trying to keep up sometimes, trying to make sure that I get as close as possible. Of course, we do have some different modifications to our camera car. We won't go into too in-depth on that, but as you guys, I'm sure everyone can see, a bit of a change from the angle. But Lurski looking absolutely solid for his first run. We might be seeing another 90 score. 30 for style, 30 for line, and our Canadian judge number 2 steals that 90 score away from Lurski. No, I'm joking.
So close.
Incredible score of 89. Nothing to scoff at. Lurski's going to be happy with that. The name of the game today is just making it into the top 32. As long as if you've done that, you've done your job. Looks like we have Play Pro Elite up on the line right now. We do have Play Pro to thank for our some of our production here today. We have, of course, the track showcase, which was produced and edited by Play Pro. So not just a driver, also involved behind the scenes. Let's see what he's got on Ricardo Tormo. Yeah. Dialed in so much angle through OZ4. Yeah. I love seeing that high angle attempt on the last part of the track. Very snaky, very like back and forth through the middle of the track, but that last zone, love to see drivers really push the angle there. 32 for style, 31 for angle, and a 31 for Judge 1 online. Our best score of the day of 94 for Play Pro. Incredibly well done. Taking that number 1 spot away from Elfe and Crazy Yoda. This bar has been raised. Up next, we have Reaper King. $94, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the highest score we see today. This track is very difficult, and the line, we've been seeing the line is where our drivers are losing their points. It's zone by zone. You drop a tire, we're gonna see it. That will hurt your score, and with a track where the first 2 sections, that initiation, outer clip 1, inner clip 1, and outer clip 2, very difficult to master. And, of course, dipping a tire into outer zone 3 is very common here. But here we have a good friend of mine, quite the gentleman. It is Shake and Bake. Great to see you back from Season 4, Shake and Bake. And in my personal favorite, the E92. Ooh, let's go right here. Okay, we're back. Solid angle. Little bit shallow on that zone, perhaps. Holding it all the way through, and ooh, a bit of an accident there, but it looks like that was definitely an intentional DNF from Shake and Bake. Looking like a decent run, but of course, you can always go for that second run if you're not happy with some part of your run. Even if it's just one zone, you can always get another shot at it. But of course, the nerves, you know, it's kind of a gamble, right? Because if you have a decent run your first go, it's always a gamble if you kind of force yourself into that do or die situation of DNFing the first run that could have been what looked like maybe a solid high 70s, low 80s score there. But we'll see if that pans out for Shake and Bake later on. Up next, we have Crewx. Ooh, good. Really nice angle through there. Good line. Good looking livery too. Here we have that zone 3, a little bit shallow there. And it looks like he's saying that's going to be the end of this one. So probably happy with the early part of the track, but it looks like through outer zone 3 that transition to the right side into outer zone 3 just might have not been where he wanted the car to be, might have not had the speed he needed to continue the run, and that'll be a strategic DNF there for Tro. Looking solid otherwise though.
That was definitely one of the best first inside clips I've seen today. He was right on it, right where he needed to be on it.
Yeah. Okay. Unbe Kant coming up to the line now. A little bit of a new face there. Let's see what car they're driving. Making their way up to the line. Beautiful. We got ourselves a classic. I love seeing these old cars brought in. It's like kind of what we were talking about earlier. Seeing a variety of cars always spices up the competition. Actually, it looks like it's not
a good looking car.
Yeah, it really is. It looks like it's actually not Unbe. It's going to be Swags on the line, actually. Let's see what he's got. Swags, of course, familiar face from last season. I believe has always kind of vouched for the classic muscle cars. So let's see how he's done in the off season to prepare for round 1. Good so far. Yeah, solid. Solid. Looking good. Swags.
Good run.
Yeah, with a solid first run there. You can definitely see that classic controller wiggle, but overall not too bad at all. Still very smooth on most of these corners. Those longer corners like OZ4, you're going to see the technique of the driver, whether they're on a wheel and pedals or if they're on controller using different techniques like rolling your stick or flicking the stick. You can definitely see when those zones get longer. A line score of 29 from Judge 1 and style score of 27 for Judge 3. Swags already sitting happily. Now the angle score can push him into the 80s or keep him in the 70s. It's going to be an 83 for Swags. Definitely a safe score there. Well done. Very good chance to make it into the top 32. And up next, we're going to have Reaper King. Incredible looking R35 here. Love seeing these liveries, man. The creative side of this is just as good as the driving skill in my opinion. But anyways, we're here, round 1. Let's see what Reaper King can do. Gonna be hot off the line, lots of grip in that R35. A little bit too much speed, perhaps missing that inner clip 1, but again, utilizing a little bit of strategy here and saying, hey, I'm going to finish this run until the last moment where I can just DNF, just to warm up, slide through the track, give us a little bit of insight into what he has in store for us afterwards. But yeah, that is a strategic DNF from Reaper King. He'll be joining the rest of our DNF drivers after we finish this convoy. It looks like we might actually be getting into those DNF drivers now. So I think we're going to be seeing Bubba back on the line, perhaps. It looks like it is Bubba. I see him going over to the line here. Yep, it's Bubba. So Bubba did well on his initiation, but not well enough, immediately going for a DNF'd run. And now it's on the line. It's make or break. I expect big things from Bubba. This is a talented driver, a podium driver from Season 4. Here we go. Big snappy transition right there into OZ4. A little bit of tire on the grass in OZ3. A little bit of tire off the track there in OZ4, but a couple of tire drops is not gonna keep you out of the top 32. Bubba with a solid run.
Definitely did a good job though on that outside four. That was right on the edge of the track the whole time.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful.
Yeah, you can see the tire tracks, right? They're, of course, they're sideways, so you can see that burnt rubber. You can see where their line was, and Bubba doing incredibly well there to keep his car right on the edge. That is going to be another entry into the 90s club of round 1. It is CCX Bubba with a total of 90, 31 for angle, 30 for style, and 29 for line. Solid run, Bubba. You can see sometimes those DNF runs do pay off in the end, but you gotta believe that these drivers have a bit of extra nerves coming in to a moment where it could be the end of their competition life. You know, there's a lot of drivers who are preparing for weeks for these competitions, for these events, and it all comes down to just one run. It can kind of get your nerves going, but Bubba paid off there. We now have IAO Ghost making his way to the line. So far we do have, looks like 3, 4, 5, 6. That's an 89. It was 5 scores of 90 plus for the day. Hey, Fire Eater, a completed run is a completed run. This track is not easy, right? It's not E-Town. It's not just a simple figure. There's a lot of technical stuff going on early on in the run, so a completed run is a good run. We do have another DNF driver here. It is Shake and Bake. Good grip off the line. Big initiation. Happily making it through inner clip 1. Keeping it on the rumbles for outer zone 2. Yeah, baby. There it is. Whew, that had my heart pumping there for a second. A little bit of extra sauce on a transition or two there had me hoping that he wasn't going to oversteer that, but a solid looking run from Shake and Bake. We love to see a completed run in these do or die situations. Looks like we have a style score of 28, an angle score of 28. Let's see that line score coming in at a 27. Another happy 80s score for a total of 83 for Shake and Bake. A very safe spot to make it into tomorrow's 32 for the main event. I would say a lot of the time, of course, it always depends on the amount of drivers we have qualifying, but a high 70s, low 80s score is very, very solid. So it's very likely we'll see Shake and Bake back tomorrow. Well done, my friend. Back on the line, another driver in a do-or-die situation. Crewx did very well on his first run, I believe, but I think it was later on in the track that he got strategic DNF going for himself. But let's see how he's able to function here when it's on the line. Beautiful transition there. Pushing that angle right at the end of OZ4. Very smooth run from Crewx. Scored run, absolutely. We have Crewx with a 28 for style and line. If we hit that 25 mark for angle, we'll be into the 80s. If I can do math right. 84, 28. For a total of 84 for Crewx. That smooth ride through the track. You can tell either that player is rolling sticks or on a wheel.
Definitely very smooth and consistent. That was very good.
Yeah. Well done, Tro. All right, Reaper King back on the line. I believe this might be our last driver of this convoy, but let's take it back to Spain and see what this R35 can put down on the track. I should have gotten like a rolling start there for myself. This R35 takes off like a bullet. Ooh, definitely hitting a late E-brake there in that decel zone to try and make it into interclip 1, but he is successful in doing so. Big overcook onto OZ3, but not giving up, getting back on the track and putting a completed run down, struggling for a little bit of angle here and finding it at the end of OZ4, fighting through that track there. Reaper King not giving up. Definitely going to see a score hit for line on that OZ3 section where he made it on pretty clearly onto the grass.
I gotta tell you, actually, it kind of looked like you went 3 wheels off there when you went off.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was pretty close. We deemed it 3 wheels off.
It looks like it's gonna be 3 tires off. Just to clarify, actual, if you want to tell people the difference between 2 and 3 tires.
So 2 tires off is just going to be a big deduction, but 3 tires off is definitely an incomplete run because 3 tires off, you're so far off the track that the chase driver is not expecting you to go there, making it a kind of unchaseable run.
Exactly. There you have it from our lead judge, Addict Actual. Unfortunately, what we don't like to see has happened. Reaper King with a double DNF in round 1 here in Spain. It's very unfortunate. We appreciate you guys putting in the time and effort to get your cars ready. But of course, round 2 is not far away. Getting ready for that will be on Reaper's King to-do list. Yeah, time for Reaper King in round 1 is over. That is it for our second convoy of drivers. We have more qualifying action coming up after these messages.
Forza Creators Guild.
Forza Creators Guild.
Welcome back. This is Forza Drift Events Season 5, Round 1, here at Ricardo Tormo in Spain. We have, of course, a couple more convoys left of qualifying runs. We've already seen several 90-plus scores from our drivers. You can already tell the season has just begun, but these drivers have been putting in plenty of time in their vehicles, getting the tune right, getting their upgrades situated, of course, all abiding by the rulebook, where you can find at ForzaDriftEvents.com. We do have our drivers making their way over to the starting line here, so we're just going to keep chatting, seeing what's up on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you guys showing up, not only just to compete, but to just enjoy the weekend with us here. Enjoy Forza, enjoy drifting, and having a good time. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, right, Actual?
Oh, it absolutely is, man. You guys gotta remember, this is always just a game. We're just doing this for fun because we all love doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about community, right? Is finding other people who are just as passionate about your hobby. And that's what we have here, a wonderful community that has been going on for years now, of course, being organized and pushed forward by FDE. Shreddit, the owner and organizer of FDE, who has put in a lot of work in the last few months to prepare for Season 5. All of the graphics, all of the new commercials, the showcases, all the work being put in behind the scenes is by Shreddit and several other members of FDE. So a big thanks to them for preparing an awesome season for us, and of course all of our drivers for coming back and competing in Season 5, and of course the new faces we see here already today. New faces, but obviously just as much skilled. A lot of very solid runs coming in from new names today. Great to see. All right, we have our first driver coming up to the line now. Let's take it over to the track. And it's going to be Awesome Pie, I believe, another returning driver from Season 4 here in the Firebird.
That thing looks so good.
Yeah, I love that body kit.
I used to own one of those in real life.
Ah, that's sad that it's a used to.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Big initiation. Definitely losing speed late in the initiation. I thought that was going to be a miss for Interclip 1, but good control from Awesome Pie. A little bit late into OZ4 there, but solid nonetheless, and Awesome Pie thinks so as well. That's going to be a completed run. You know, going late into a zone or leaving early out of a zone, how much is that going to hurt these drivers here?
Well, if you're going late out of it, you're transitioning too late for the next one, which is going to set you up wrong for whatever you got coming left. If you exit too early, then you're going to end up being on the inside of the clipping points and stuff, like we've actually seen a couple of times today.
Right. And on that last zone, like getting into that OZ4 late is so obvious because it's just one long continuous curve. So if you're if you're missing,
you gotta,
go for it.
I was gonna say, then you gotta angle up, and it slows your car down a whole lot. And tomorrow, when it comes to tandems, that's gonna be really hard for the chase driver to chase.
Exactly. A qualifying score doesn't necessarily mean you're ready for these head-to-head battles tomorrow, but Awesome Pie with a solid score of 79. Like I've been saying today, a high score of 70s is a safe spot to be to make it into that top 32. Of course, we don't have that bracket for you just yet, but after the end of our qualifying runs, we'll take a look at that as our judges will be organizing the bracket for us. But up next, another podium driver coming back from Season 4. It is Bionic Bunghole. Love
the name.
Yeah, I know. Funny. Sometimes it gets me still. I've seen it so many times, but a beautiful, beautiful livery on this Lexus here. I'm excited to see Bionic Bunghole bring himself into round 1 here in Spain.
That spoiler is bigger than the car.
Big Wang Gang, baby. Man, that thing looks good. A driver who's utilizing the flicking technique for their steering, but relatively smooth for a flicking driver. Not too crazy. You can definitely see that classic wiggle wiggle going on, but a smooth run from Bionic Bunghole nonetheless. $29 for style. You can see even if you're on a controller and you're not rolling sticks, you can still get a high style score. Just the same.
Our angle judge even said nice for flicking.
Yeah, nice for
really
flicking.
Good job for a flicking driver.
Exactly. I mean, even if you're a flicking driver, there's still a skill gap, dude. You still gotta show us that you know what you're doing. Keeping your car on the line. That is a total score of 87. Just missing the 90s club, but still a solid run from Bionic Bunghole. Definitely up to his own standard. I'm sure he'll be glad with that run. Up next, I believe a new name in the community here in, I believe that's an RTR Mustang. It's CXS Voxy.
I like the livery. That's nice. That looks really sick.
Love that graffiti style font. Smacking cones like it's his full-time job. But also getting a good amount of these clipping zones covered. Lots of smoke from these rear tires. Make sure we can see exactly what's going on here. A bit of brake going into OZ4 might have caused him to... That's going to be a completed run. Okay. I thought that he was going to go for a DNF there, so I backed off a little bit, but it looks like Voxy's going to say, that's my run. Just a little bit late. It looked like he hit the brakes just a little bit late going into outer zone 4, which caused him to enter the zone a bit late. And then, unfortunately, when you enter the zone a bit late, you try to, exactly like Addict Actual said, you try to angle up after you get into the zone, and you're at the wrong line. You're on the wrong line, so it kind of makes for a sharper turn, and unfortunately kind of dipped onto the tarmac on the outside of OZ4 there. So a little bit of a hit for the line score. And still a total of 73 for CXS Voxy. A very solid run and a completed run nonetheless, like we've been saying today. Preparing for these events, it's nice no matter what your score is, just to get to that finish line. You never like to see a double DNF. It's very unfortunate. But of course, it's just the start of the season. This isn't round 6, right? So these drivers have the time to dial in their builds and prepare for future rounds. But up next, we have Elmo's Killer. Uh-oh. Elmo's Killer is an S15. Love the name. Let's see what he's got on Ricardo Tormo. Oh, hot off the line. Let's see if I can keep up. Come here. Okay. Immediately off the track. We need emergency services very early. Holy cow. Straight into the guardrail.
Technical difficulties or something going on there.
Yeah, I think his controller disconnected. All right. We definitely recommend if you're on a controller, plug that bitch in, okay? Like you do not want
plug it in before you run. That way you don't have to worry about that.
You don't want the classic batteries are low. I'm sure everyone who plays on console knows that notification. Looks like he has an RE. Redo. It's a redo. Okay, I was like, what is RE? Redo. Got you. So because the driver DNF'd before the start of the judge zone, that's not a DNF. It is actually a redo. Elmo's killer with a second chance here. Hopefully the initiation goes better this time. All right. Bit of fishtailing here before the first zone. Looks like Elmo's killer is going to have to struggle through this, but he is fighting through outer zone 2. We might have to see a little bit of an extra transition here straight through OZ2 there. OZ3 coming up, a little bit of tires dipping off, but still battling through the track, trying to find his way to the end of the judge zone. Keep it going, my man. Just finish it off. It looks like that's going to be a DNF. He does have another chance because it was not a DNF. It was a redo. That is his initial DNF, so we will see Elmo's killer back on the track. Unfortunately, you can see, man, putting time into your build and putting time into practicing these tracks is a big part of these competitions. Even putting in a few hours a day for the previous week before the event is going to help you out the day of. Of course, these tracks, the share codes are available online at www.forzadriftevents.com. If you want to see what you can do on this track here in round 1, go load up Forza, grab your favorite drift car, and see how difficult it really is firsthand. Up next, we have Live It Up Boy, familiar name, and I believe definitely a top 32. I believe also top 16 driver from Season 4. So definitely looking to see good things from Live It Up Boy. Great looking livery. A little bit tough through outer zone 1, but a little bit of a tire dip there too on OZ2. OZ3, this is where a lot of drivers are overcooking it, but solid through there. Now let's see if Live It Up Boy wants to do a strategic DNF here, or if this is going to be his run. Definitely a couple of points off the board, but solid nonetheless. I think the earlier part of the run was where he's going to get those points taken off. But a solid completed run from Live It Up Boy. $25 for line, $25 for style. $25 for angle, a total of $75. See, that's what I'm saying. Even if you make a mistake early on, it's not the end of it. Fighting through these tracks, you can actually surprise yourself. One missed zone doesn't spell the end. So very well done from Live It Up Boy to finish strong through OZ3, Inner Clip 3, and OZ4 there. Up next, we have Nurko. Nurko's either an old head or a new head, because I don't remember this name in Season 4, but here in a Corvette, kind of reminiscent of Bubba. Let's see if he can do his best Bubba impression and make his way into the 90s club here. Love the tail lights on this Corvette. Such a good livery. Love that matte look as well. Ooh, that's a big initiation. Too much angle, too much speed lost.
Yeah, it looks like he got up on that rumble strip and it just didn't help him. It sent his car around.
Yeah. The surface difference between the asphalt and those rumble strips can lead you to get too much angle on the initiation. Too much rotation isn't always a good thing. I thought he was going to be able to bring that back through, a slide through interclip 1. Would have been really stylish, but we'll have another chance later on. That's going to be a DNF from Nurko, and we have NXL Shadow on the line now. Of course, that was a DNF because, again, if you remember from our track showcase, once a driver passes the 3-2-1 cones and gets into the judged section, if there is a mistake that causes the driver to go off track, that's a DNF. If it's before the start of the judge section, then it's a redo. So that is, unfortunately, a DNF. Let's take it back to the track. NXL Shadow. Looks like it's not NXL Shadow, it's Unbekannts. Looks like the same exact car there, so I'm a little confused. I think we got to get some drivers aligned here. That is still Nurko. I don't know who's supposed to be here, but I'm going to wait, because I don't think it's Nurko. The DNF drivers do have another chance at the end of the rest of the convoy. So after all of our drivers have a chance to go, we go back through and we revisit all of the drivers who have DNF'd their first runs and give them a second shot. Here we have Unbekannts. And I think we're ready to go. Here we go. Okay, he's just taking off without the horn. That is okay. I'll see if I can do my best to catch up. Looks like a decent initiation. He hit both clipping zones. Might be a decent moment to not crash into the car with the camera car. But also to remind drivers, the 3-2-1 horn is very important. Helps timing, helps the production team, aka me. But looks like it's going to be a strategic DNF from Unbekannts. No big deal. Driver will have another chance after the rest of the convoy gets going. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think it's Unbekannts. It could be Unbekannts or something, but
I would not be the one to ask. I don't have very good pronunciation.
Yep. All right, so we have a DNF there. I think we have a few more drivers to get through before we revisit our DNFs. So let's go ahead and get back to the track and wait for the next driver. It looks like it's going to be Will Show. All right, here in a Mustang. Looks like he's going for a rolling start here. There we go. Big initiation. Unfortunately, missing interclip 1 and driving straight through. Alrighty. It looks like that is going to be a bad initiation for Will Show. That's going to probably be a DNF already. We'll go ahead and take it to the judges panel. He's just driving through the track like it's a parking lot. That's no problem. You got a second chance, right? You can definitely see the drivers who have the time in their cars on this track, and you can see who might have just shown up to have a good time. Of course, we welcome everyone in FDE. This is an open drift series, so people from all skill levels can come and enjoy the weekend. Not just compete, but also watch and maybe learn some things from other drivers. It is an open community. There's plenty of communication on our Discord, which of course you can find the link for our Discord and learn from the elite drivers of FDE at www.forzadriftevents.com. Up next, we have Young Ziyagi. Looks like we have another CCX driver who wants to apparently. Yeah, I don't. We're gonna redo that. Yeah, drivers, please.
I just restored that. That was.
Yeah, drivers. It is my horn, not your horn. Some people are a little bit confused by that. That's all right. Okay, looks like he's coming back through the. There he is. All right, here we go. Let's give this another shot. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now I get to actually keep up. Much smoother here. Great initiation. Lots of angle. Holy cow. Very stable through inner clip 1. Outer zone 2 looking solid. Very smooth. Outer zone 3 is where a lot of drivers dip those tires. A little bit of grass on that rear left, but nothing too harsh. Settling in nicely for outer zone 4. Very, very high angle, very smooth. We're definitely going to see some good scores from Judge 2 and Judge 3. Driving off to the right side instead of the left. Some people just want to do their own thing here, and that's just all right, as long as you follow the rules. Young Ziyagi with a 32 for style. Judge 3 really enjoying the smooth transitions, smooth driving through round 1 here. An angle score of 33. This could be the highest score of the day. Looks like our line judge is taking his time. He is in the chat with me right now, but of course is communicating with the rest of the judges panel. We're definitely going to let Addict Actual get through his judging session here, but afterwards we're going to have to see exactly why there was so much deliberation for this. And that's kind of one of the benefits we have of having a judge, the lead judge, on the commentators panel as well. And we do see the final score of 93, not taking away the lead from... Actually, I forgot who is in the lead right now, but I know the lead score is a 94. So Actual...
So, the big thing with this, to me, and why he scored so low, is in Outer Zone 3, he dropped the tire into the grass, and then in Outer Zone 4, for about a third of the zone, he had a tire hanging off.
Yeah. So
other than that, he did really, really well. It was very exceptional. Our angle judge was loving the angle. Both of our other judges were loving the angle. That was very committed.
Yeah, the whole way through. It wasn't just like he was slapping angle on it at the last moment in OZ4. He was high angled at the beginning and the end of every transition. Very solid for style and angle, but those tire dips are going to cost you those extra points. However, even with those tire dips, a score of 93 is insane. Very well done.
That is a solid number.
Elmo's Killer back on the line. We did see Elmo's Killer kind of have trouble with their car, just maybe not having enough grip on this S15. We'll see if they can make it up here. This driver was not able to hold angle for as long as they might have wanted to, but looking very good so far. Good initiation compared to last time. Using those rumble packs, kind of going off there, but a very good look compared to what we saw before. Fighting through the rest of the track. We don't want to see oversteer here. Want to make sure that I give this driver a chance to fight through the rest of the track. Big ups for Elmo's Killer here, fighting all the way through to the end. It might not be perfect, but it is a completed run. Well done, Elmo's Killer. I was worried that it was going to be another double DNF, but fortunately Elmo's Killer was able to keep control. Oh, it looks like it is going to be a DNF. Could you give me insight on to that one, Actual?
So where he angled up really hard, there again, this goes to if there was a chase driver there, the chase driver would have had nowhere to go and would have hit into him. He lost way too much speed after that, which then threw him off for the next zone, and he dipped some more tires.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, a small mistake here or there isn't a big deal, but if your run becomes unchaseable, that's a DNF. So you do have to allow space. Even if this is a qualifying run and there's not another driver on the track, you do have to have a line sufficient enough to allow a chase driver to get into the pocket of your door. If that's not possible, if you're like Actual said, you're losing too much speed, it's just an unchaseable run. Unfortunately, a DNF for Elmo's Killer there. But up next we have Nurko. Thank you for playing, though, Elmo's Killer. It's great to see that run. I'm happy to see it go all the way through. Just unfortunately, too much speed lost on that middle part of the track. But anyways, Nurko on the line again. Let's see what he's got. Whoa, some desync there. Looking good. Wow. Wow. A little bit of desync to start. I was worried that that might cause like a redo or something like that. It is in the rule books that if a desync causes issues with judging, it does qualify as a redo, but it looked like it smoothed out there. We were able to see a solid run from Nurko. 29-29 for angle and style. And a 28 for line. A total of 86 for Nurko. Very, very well done. A solid score. It's definitely going to be looking good for tomorrow's top 32 battle. Of course, we do not have that bracket just yet. If you stick around after, I think we have maybe one more convoy or two more convoys, we'll be able to get that bracket made up for everyone. But of course, another DNF driver on the line in a make or break situation. It's Unbe Kant. Let me go ahead and get behind him so that way we can see what's going on. All right, here we go. All right, going for that wide initiation. Remembering a good run starts with a good start. Unfortunately, early oversteer for Unbe Kant. It's such an easy thing to do on this track. Again, there's so much technicality at the start of the track. You immediately go from initiation into two different zones, an outer zone and an inner clipping zone. It's difficult to get right, very easy to oversteer. Unbe Kant with a double DNF, unfortunately. Thank you so much for preparing yourself for the event and coming out and competing. Of course, for all of our drivers, we appreciate that very much. Hopefully, it's still fun nonetheless, and you can enjoy the live stream over on YouTube for all of the other drivers. If I wasn't commentating, I know either I'd be driving or just watching and trying to see who brings the heat in FDE, as in my opinion, and I believe in actuality, this is the premier drifting league of Forza. So you're going to see a lot of the best drivers in the game here putting down fire on this round one Spain track. Will Show is back on the line. I believe this is our last DNF driver. Let's see what he can do. So a little bit of trouble early on for Will Show last time. Big initiation. Looks like he might be happy with that initiation. He's definitely hitting both clipping zones here, but he might lose enough speed that he has to drive through Inner clip 2. Outer zone 3 coming up next. He does hit the zone. He's pulling it together. And outer zone 4, the long haul through a long zone. Trying to angle up here at the very end. Very well done, Will Show. Definitely you can see that the driver might not have their tune or their upgrades completely dialed in, but nonetheless battling the course and completing a run. Love to see it. Will Show with a 24 for line, 23 for angle. And a 24 for style, so making it into the 70s at 71. There are 32 drivers making it into tomorrow's main event. It is very likely that we could see Will Show there. All right, that is the end of our third convoy of drivers. I believe we have another convoy getting ready right now. We will see you guys back here. Don't go anywhere.
Forza Creators Guild.
Forza Creators Guild.
We are back again from commercial break here in Forza Drift Event Season 5, Round 1 at Ricardo Tormo in Spain. It has been an incredible qualifying day so far, some crushing defeats from double DNFs to some early on redos into the guardrails. If you know, you know. And some incredible high-scoring runs in, I think we have about 7 scores of 90 plus so far. We do have another convoy loading up right now. We're going to get to that line and get ready to go. But so far, so good. A great first round of FDE in Season 5. Very happy to be back and enjoying some drifting action here on Forza. I'm sure a lot of people have been waiting for the season to start. And, yeah, how are you enjoying it so far, Actual? How's it being on the desk?
This is definitely something different for me. I'm not much of an outgoing, very vocal person. I don't talk to a lot of people, so this is stepping out of my comfort zone. But I'm having a good time. This is really good to see all these people come together and see all the skill levels of all these different drivers.
For sure. Hey, we're happy to have you, Actual, lead judge for the line score and my co-commentator here in Season 5. It's great to have you, and I completely agree. It's great to see Round 1. You get to see all the drivers who are coming back from Season 4, and you get to see all the new heads showing up and showing us what they've got. Of course, some of these drivers are actually contending with the best of them, the elite FDE drivers, but of course we're not done yet. We do have a driver on the line getting ready to go. So let's take it to the starting line and see who it is. Dakim. It is Dakim, a returning driver, and I believe also an FDE track creator. So a driver and a behind-the-scenes person in the production of FDE. So round of applause for Dakim. Let's see if he can get into a nice score position for tomorrow's main event. Love that stock body on the S13 there. Ooh, cooking it a little bit too much there on outer clip 2. Gonna be a strategic DNF early on. We'll head back to the starting line. Just a little bit cold, maybe. Overcooked it on entry. And we sent it out a little bit too wide. Very easy to do. Very difficult to not do. We have Dirty Nay coming up next. Another new name. Let's see what they've got. Catching up a lot of speed early on. Great run. Man, he took off like a bullet out of the launch area. Took me a bit to catch up, but otherwise a solid run. Well done, Dirty Nay. Of course, I can sit here and say that all day long, but it is up to the judges to seal your fate for tomorrow's placing. Of course, making it into the top 32 isn't the end-all be-all. The higher score you have, the better seating you have in tomorrow's 32-person head-to-head bracket. So there's a big difference between getting top 5, being at the middle of the pack, and being at the bottom of the pack, but Dirty Nay does not have to worry. A score of 90 for Dirty Nay. Gonna really be happy with that. I'm sure this might be Dirty Nay's first ever event. Putting up a 90 score on the first attempt is a difficult feat. So congratulations, Dirty Nay. Well done. Get Baptized, another name, old head. Another name behind the scenes of FDE, I believe. Perhaps a track creator, part of the production here at FDE. Let's see what Get Baptized can do here in round 1 in Spain. Ooh, big initiation. Can he pull it back to toe touch? Just touching the tips of his toes onto inner clip 1. Ooh, just a little bit of tire on the grass there, but pulling it back very quickly. Now, I've said this multiple times last season, and I have yet to say it today, so right now seems like the perfect moment. There is absolutely a vast sea of skill in being able to make on-the-fly adjustments to your line, your speed, your angle, pulling yourself out of a slight mistake and continuing strong for the rest of the track. You see Get Baptized there, exemplifying that philosophy, not letting a shallow clipping zone or a tire off the track end his run there, finishing strong and making those quick adjustments on the fly to bring himself back into the appropriate line and angle. There's a lot of skill there. You love to see it. You don't want to see drivers allowing just a minor mistake implode their run. And a score of 85, well deserved. Get Baptized, great to see you again. Well done in round 1. Middle of the 80s, solid place to be for tomorrow. We have M4 Chippy coming up next. It looks like it is another CCX driver. CCX, a well-known team in FDE with what it looks like to be a team livery. CCX put up a lot of podium drivers, a lot of golds and silvers last season. You expect a lot when you see CCX in the tag. Now let's see if M4 Chippy can live up to the name. No pressure. Big angle. Big initiation. Another flicking driver. Great line through there. Let's see about this tire dip in OZ3. No tire dip there at all. Solidly well into the zone without going over too much at all. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. A great run from M4 Chippy. I saw the writing on the wall. CCX knows their drivers. They know how to get people prepared for these events. One of the biggest communities for drifting, pop-up competitions, and an official racing team for these FDE events. We love to see that from M4 Chippy. A style score of 29, an angle score of 30, and a line score of 30. Just missing that 90s club, but still happily into the 80s. Total of 89 for CCX M4 Chippy. Well done. Again, if you want to find out more about these communities that are surrounding Forza Drift events, check out the Discord. All of the links you need are at www.forzadriftevents.com. Up next, we have NXL Shadow. Very cool looking R32. Love that livery. It looks like there's lots of detail there. I love to see that. Sweet wheels as well. Oh, okay. It looks like he got a little bit nervous there. It's okay. I'm ready to go. We do want to wait for the horns. Whoa! Okay. So, not waiting for the horn there. And an early oversteer DNF. That was not M4 Chippy, of course. That was NXL Shadow. I want to remind drivers to wait for the 3-2-1 horn. Sometimes I do it quickly, sometimes I wait a little bit. I like to do a little bit of commentary in between these drivers and try to set people up for what to expect. And, of course, welcome back drivers from previous seasons. Ryosuke coming up next, and based on the livery, we do have another CCX driver here. Again, we know what to expect from CCX. They are the serious competitors in these events. Love the car, love the livery. Let's see if we love the run. Woo! Can he pull it back? Oh my goodness, keep it. Hold it. Big initiation from Ryosuke. Whew. Love to see drivers commit with that much angle, that much aggression. Looks like that's going to be a strategic DNF. Ryosuke wants another shot at it. He says, hey, that might have looked good, but I can do even better. We'll see him back on the line after the rest of the convoy. Very, very close to the end there. That was very borderline. You don't want to accidentally settle in your score by going over the judge section there, but still a DNF.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, I think I've seen that happen before. This is a car we have not seen today. Okay. I believe this is the Lexus RCF. Is that what we're seeing here?
Is it the RCF or the LFA?
Oh, or the LC 500. There it is. I see it. Yeah, okay. I don't know them very well either, but I know this is one we haven't seen. Looks like we have a Drift King logo. Love to see that. It is Seaborn-Spy. Or Seaborn Spy. Sorry, the capitalization there messed me up. Seaborn Spy on the line. Seaborn-Spy. Yeah, that's a good one. Ooh, smacking a cone into the initiation zone, making sure he doesn't miss. Might have set up for a shallow line into OZ2. A bit shallow there, trying to make it through inner clip 2. Here's outer zone 3. Not overcooking it, just happily in the middle there. One last transition before OZ4, trying to make sure he maintains that angle, struggling a little bit to lose grip there. A little bit too grippy from that Lexus, but he settled in that score. Let's see what the judges have to say. Perhaps just a little bit too much grip. There aren't a lot of areas in this track where you can just go all out. You gotta have the control to match it. You gotta be able to keep that angle throughout each of these zones. You can see that angle score, line score, and style score each took a little bit of a hit, but still a 66 total for Seaborn Spy. Not bad at all, and a completed run is an accomplishment in and of itself, especially on such a technical track. Looks like up next we have that 350. Whoa. Lots of grip off the line. Gonna try to keep up in this behemoth camera car. Whoa, all right. Lots of speed lost there trying to pull the car back into inner clip 1. Looking good through OZ3. Nice transition here. A little bit of a late transition to that right-hand side. Let's see if they can settle in to this OZ4 angle. And tire outside of it, but hey, another completed solid run. That 350. Not in a 350, actually in an M3, but hey. Of course, the qualified, non-restricted car list can be found in the rule book, so if you're wondering what choices you have to compete, you can always check out ForzaDriftEvents.com and check out that rule book. As we do see a 24 for angle and 25 for style coming in for 350. With a line score of 26 for a total of 75. There you go. Fighting through it till the very end and earning a respectable score. Very well done, 350.
Never give up.
Exactly. A mistake or two is not the end of it. All right, up next, we have another JDM1 team member, Shadow Light. Overcooked it, missed inner clip 1. Let's see if they just want to go through the rest of the track. Now, of course, they can finish the run and they can cement their score, but I think this is just going to be another strategic DNF here. Very good looking livery here. Love to see that kind of graffiti style there. Oh, okay. All right. We had an inner clip 1 miss that made me think that we would see a DNF there, but I don't believe that was a DNF. We did not see 3 tires off, and that was a completed run. It definitely wasn't, you know, it wasn't awful, but, you know, usually when you see drivers who have that, they have the skill, right? You can see through the rest of the track that Shadow Lights knows what he's doing. Usually you'll see someone kind of want those points back from missing a zone. But of course, it's always a gamble. A strategic DNF means that you have only one chance to settle in your score. And you would have just given up a 73 anyways. A 73, a very good score. It could be just above the line for tomorrow's main event 32 head-to-head bracket. I believe that is the end of our convoy, our regular convoy, and now we are going to be seeing the DNF'd drivers come back. These are all going to be do or die situations for these drivers. Either their time in the competition ends here or now, or they're going to be able to put down a score and try to fight into tomorrow's top 32. Definitely want to see Dakim back tomorrow, and it's looking good so far. You see this driver is definitely on a wheel or rolling sticks here. Very smooth style. It's going to award you some good points. A little bit of a tire dip there, but nothing to scoff at. And it looks like settling deep into OZ4 with lots of angle and style. So smooth with it. Dakim with a great run. Perhaps a little too deep into OZ4 there. But there you go. You see that high style score. You want to be as smooth as possible through the track. 28 for line. And it was a very good angle. It would not surprise me to see a 29 or perhaps a 30 plus score for our angle judge. There it is. There's the 30. A total of 87 for Dakim. Definitely putting himself in good contention for the higher seeding for tomorrow's top 32. Great to see a DNF driver put up such a good score. That is the wrong panel. Sorry about that. Here we go. NXL Shadow back in the R32. Good looks. Utilizing all of those rumble packs and then some. But again, fighting through the rest of the track is what you gotta do. There's no more DNFs now. You just gotta make the most of it. And Shadow is doing a good job of making the most of that run. Just a little bit too much sauce into outer clipping 2, but bringing it back for a very textbook rest of his run. Well done, Shadow. 26 for line, 27 for style. Angle judge decides the last part of this score. NXL Shadow, part of a new team on the track with a total score of 80. Very respectable, very good position in tomorrow's bracket. Being at the middle of the pack, of course, if you know how 32-person or 32-team bracket play works, being at the top of the bracket, being like the first seed, means you go against the 32nd seed. Very difficult there. It's a uphill battle for that 32nd seed driver. But if you're in the middle of the pack around 15 to 17, you're going to be battling people that are very close to your qualifying score. And those low 80s, mid 80s scores are going to be very close in tomorrow's head-to-head. We'll, of course, have to wait for the full bracket to be decided. We have a few drivers left here. It is CCX Ryosuke coming back to the line. We know he had a great run the first time with a strategic DNF at the very end of the track. I'm sure he'll do just fine. God, I love that initiation from this driver. Beautiful 90-degree initiation. Following through both zones on that corner. Great OZ3. Not a single blade of grass on those tires. Some snappy high-angle transitions. And Ryosuke is absolutely dialed in. Very well done.
Sheesh, that was a good run.
That was a very good run. On the edge with high angle, very smooth. And I want to say they're a stick rolling driver, but I'm not sure. It might be a hybrid driver who incorporates a little bit of stick rolling and a little bit of flicking as well. Looks like we have a style score of 28 coming in. A 30 for line and angle for a total score of 88 for Ryosuke. Very well done. Just shy of 90s. It looks like that is it for our convoy. I believe we have one more convoy coming up next. If you guys want to see what could be the highest score yet to be, come back here after these commercial breaks.
Forza Creators Guild.
Forza Creators Guild.
Welcome back once again. This is Forza Drift Events Season 5, Round 1 at Ricardo Tormo in Spain. We do have another convoy loading in. Thank you guys for joining us on youtube.com/Forza Drift Events. For everyone still with us, we appreciate you hanging out for these final convoys here. I'm not exactly sure. It'd be nice if I could get word, maybe actual, if you could message Shreddit and see how many convoys we have left. Just for a quick little update. I don't think this is our last convoy, but we're definitely getting near the end here. I'm excited to see how many 90s we have in total, and of course a little bit of a insight into tomorrow's bracket. We'll be able to see that bracket at the end of the stream. But for now, we are making our way back to the starting line of the track. A full 12-driver convoy. Well, I guess besides me and our organizer. So 10-man convoy, 10-driver convoy. Let's take it to the track. Actually, let's take a quick second and check out the track showcase just to see, just a quick reminder on what our drivers are expected to do here. 3-2-1 judge section. Now outside zone 1 is so close to the initiation area. We immediately go into a decel zone. This has caused a lot of people trouble on making their way into the inner clip 1 on the inside of that first corner. Now, rumbles have been allowed here. You can put your tires onto those red and white strips, but you definitely don't want to overcook it, because that difference in surface change, that difference in surface grip, can definitely cause you to go out wide too far. Same thing here in Outer Zone 3. We've seen a lot of drivers dipping tires and losing crucial points. Of course, it is qualifying. You just want to make it into the top 32. But for those serious drivers, those serious competitors, every point matters. And you definitely want to be at the top of the seating. You want to be that top 5, top 3 drivers, so that way you can have an easy way into the top 16. Of course, we'll have that bracket for you soon. Let's take it back to the track and see our first driver on the line. It is Auto Tech with AMM2.
To get our update, we said that, or Shreddit said that we have this one, and he thinks one more after this.
All right.
All of our drivers.
So one more convoy after this convoy as we get started here with Auto Tech cooking through inner clip 1, kind of dipping a couple of tires there. A little bit of a shallow line here through inner clip 2. Trying to make the most of it. We'll see if this driver understands the rules well enough to perhaps go for a strategic DNF here. They might want to just complete their run here, and I think that's what they're going to do. Auto Tech saying, hey, I'm just going to end this here and now, and let's see if I can make it into the 70s. Auto Tech, bit of a strategic choice there. Might be, yeah, it is a DNF. I'm not exactly sure why that was a DNF. Could you weigh in, actual?
So where he went so wide, he had to slow up a whole bunch because he about went off the track real bad,
Yeah.
and then ended up
Unchaseable.
dropping a whole bunch more tires. Yeah, that's just too hard to chase for somebody.
There you go. Unchaseable run. I'm always trying to make the most out of these runs. I'm trying to be the optimist here and be on the side of the driver. These evil judges are trying to take our jobs. No, I'm joking. But, of course, an unchaseable run and a DNF there. But exotic, easy, toxic exotic. My goodness. Sorry, it's been a while, guys. We've had a long off season. This is the first round of the season. My brain is a little bit mush, but we have easy toxic on the line ready to go. Easy toxic from the team JDM1. Just missing that inner clip one. Fight through. Now would be the time to DNF if you want to have another chance. And it looks like these drivers are just saying, hey, that's it, baby. That's all I got. Easy toxic going for his first run instead of the strategic DNF for the second run. That's no problem. Style score of 24. Still a chaseable run. Perhaps difficult there at that inner clip 2 area, that left-hander down the long straight to OZ3. Perhaps a little bit shallow there, but chaseable nonetheless with a total score of 70. That gamble might have paid off. Well done, Easy Toxic. Up next, we have a familiar name, and I remember this driver well. Very talented driver, JDM Caliber, coming in from Season 4 to Season 5. I remember JDM Caliber, I think specifically on Orlando Speed World, did pretty well there. I'm not sure if it was a top 3, but for sure a top 8. You can see the flicking technique there for the controller, but staying on a really solid line. A little bit of tires off there in an awkward spot. I have not seen tires off in that position there. Looks like that's a strategic DNF. He saw himself just too far off of OZ4, couldn't correct it, and just said, hey, I can do that again. JDM Caliber going for a DNF there. Was a very good run nonetheless, but of course every point does matter, and with a seasoned driver like JDM Caliber, I'm sure he wants all the points he can get. Up next, another veteran driver, Kid Seif. Love the livery, love the car choice. The first 80s or GR86 of the day. Let's see what Kid Seif can do here in round 1. Great to see all the familiar names. Everyone's still enjoying their time on Forza, still harnessing as much skill and time in their seats as they can to prepare for these events. Missing inner clip 1 early on, perhaps a DNF here. Ooh! Hopefully they can fix that before the next run. A little bit of duct tape, sure get that done. Kid Seif with a DNF. Looks like we have Mello up next with JDM1. Love the liveries. Burning rubber off the starting line, but still shooting out of the launch area. but lots of speed. Lots of angle here. Definitely going to straighten up through OZ2. On the inside here for OZ3, missing OZ3. This is definitely going to be a strategic DNF. Yeah, unchaseable run, DNF. Looking good early on, but maybe just too much grip from those fat rear tires. It's always a balance of slip and grip, oversteer and understeer. The more time you put into your tune, the more time you put into the car on the track, you can kind of fine-tune those balances to make sure you're ready for the event. But of course, there's not an infinite amount of time. You got to do with what you got and the time you've practiced. So, gonna see him back on the line with our DNF drivers. But up next, it's Mountain Man Joe. Another familiar name with Bob Ross on his license plate. Interesting. You'll love to see that. Hopefully he doesn't have any happy accidents and it's a clean run. Almost sounds like I'm saying he's gonna like pee himself or something, like happy accidents. But if you know Bob Ross, you know what I'm saying, okay? Ooh, lots of angle early on. Ooh, smooth as can be as well. You see those front tires are planted. Lots of angle, smooth transitions. This Mustang looking so damn good. Let's see how he does through OZ4 right on the edge. Just a little bit of a off run there, but solid nonetheless. Mountain Man Joe with a solid run. Well done. A tire or two off. You just make up that line score with your angle score and you're set to go. We did see a driver earlier today with an angle score of 33 and a line score of 28 who still managed to get 94. I believe that's still our lead driver. But as we can see here, a 31 for style, a 32 for angle, and the line score still coming in from judge number 1. A line score of 29 for a total of 92. A 90s club run from Mountain Man Joe. So there, was it really just the outer zone 4 tire drop that brought his score down there, actual?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, that was a really, really solid, good run. I was very happy to see where he put the car.
Yep. 1 or 2 tires off in that last zone, though, is going to pull your score down quite a bit. But we have Not Too Bad A up next. Solid angle. Can they keep it through this whole corner? They can. See this transition into OZ3. Are they going to overcook it? Nope. Great left foot braking there from Not Too Bad A. Going into OZ4. Settling in for the long haul right on the edge of the zone. I am impressed. A name
Smooth flicker.
Yeah. Not a name I've seen before. That was flicking?
That's what it looked like, yeah.
Wow. A very smooth run for a player who utilizes the flicking technique for their steering. If you can imagine a controller pushing the thumbstick forward and rolling it across the circumference of the controller thumbstick entry, the port there, is a rolling technique, whereas just flicking the stick back and forth, kind of like you're, I don't know, strafing on Call of Duty, that would be the flicking technique we keep referring to. And, you know, it's definitely difference in experience, I suppose, but you can do very well on either technique. With a total score of 92, 31, 31, 30 for Not Too Bad A total of 92. Very well into the 90s. Lots of 90 scores in this convoy. Very impressive. Not easy to do that. You know, again, the early sections of this track are very technical, very difficult to get to OZ2 cleanly and make your way through the rest of the track. But of course, we have more drivers here. It is Official Bird from JDM1 on the track. Now, lots of JDM1 drivers. We love to see the teams come out and represent. Official Bird in the Hellcat. The first Hellcat of the day and the season. Just going a little bit straight through there. You can see this driver, that front end wiggling back and forth is the signature of a flicking technique controller player. But still, decent angle, good line, and good style through the track. That's a completed run from Official Bird. .26 for style, 26 for angle. A 28 for line, a total of 80. Official Bird just goes to show, again, we saw from Get Baptized earlier today, you can do well. You can get these high scores even with the flicking technique. Something that you can definitely tell the difference, but the scores speak for themselves. Press JFK Sr. coming up next. Not a lot of grip off the line. Not something that is really judged, but something that kind of can indicate the amount of grip that a specific player has, a specific driver has. This driver definitely going to be fighting for grip through here, but doing pretty well of it. And there's that oversteer. Definitely a strategic DNF there, but otherwise a good run. Perhaps not even strategic, perhaps just, again, fighting for grip there when you are settling in for your angle through that long outer zone 4. Easy to get too much heat on those tires and oversteer there. We'll see President JFK Sr. back on the line later on. Up next, another familiar name. If you've been watching FDE for a few seasons, you will know Prince. 777 Prince 777 coming to the line, ready to put down his qualifying score here in round 1. Using those rumble strips to his advantage, toe tapping on outer or inner clip 2, excuse me. Outer zone 3 hit very well. No grass on those tires. OZ4 a little shallow here. Might go for a DNF or might just call it there, and he's calling it there. Prince with a completed run in round 1. You know, losing, 2 or 3 points off of your line score because of a tire dip, again, a strategic calculation from the driver on whether or not they want to fight back for those points in a do or die situation. It is easy to make a mistake, so, going for a DNF'd run, a strategic DNF'd run, puts you in the hot seat the second time around. So, a few points lost. You see here, Prince kind of gambled for it and still came out with a high 70 score. Definitely going to be comfortable there with a 26 across the board for Prince. All right, up next, it's Auto Tech. This is going to be the beginning of our DNF drivers. This is the do or die situation we speak of. Our first driver on the line, Auto Tech. Just missing that outer zone 1. Inner clip 1 hit. Perhaps a bit of strategy there, setting himself up for a better line through the rest of the course, but overcooking it, come back on. That's 3 tires off. That's going to be a DNF. You can actually see, I think this driver is a keyboard user. Just based on how rapid the movement of those front tires are, I respect the completion. Auto Tech saying, hey, I might have had 4 tires off. I know I DNF'd, but damn it, I prepared for this, and I'm going to finish this track if it's the last thing I do.
If he was on a keyboard, I can attest that is not an easy feat. So that definitely takes a lot of skills. Yeah, keyboard, of course, is kind of like a binary situation. Either it's on or it's off. There's only 2 states, and that's all you got. So, you know, if you're turning left, you're turning left. There's no gradual progression of your steering angle. If you're on the throttle, you're on 100% throttle. There's no 50% or 80%. Definitely difficult to do. Considering that, definitely a difficult battle there. But we have up next JDM Caliber with a good looking first run, going for the strategic DNF to try and claw back a few extra points here. We'll see if it pays off for him. Solid run, solid run. When it's on the line, it can get very hot, very nerve-wracking. But JDM Caliber able to put together a solid run. Well done. Beep beep to you. Definitely expected for JDM Caliber to finish that. He absolutely, we of course, if you were a viewer or driver in Season 4, get to see these drivers improve as the season progresses. Of course, the tunes are open from track to track, so you have the chance to tune your car to the track each round. And JDM Caliber has improved incredibly over the last season, and starting out Season 1 with a solid score of 88. Up next, it's Kid Seif, another veteran driver. Let's see what he's got. OZ3 looking beautiful. Good transition, and now it's OZ4. Right on the edge of the zone. Great angle, very smooth through that last zone. Well done. Completed run is a completed run. Very well done. I'd honestly say that the start of the track is more difficult than the end of the track. I feel like once you get through OZ3, it's kind of like smooth sailing from there, as long as you don't overcook the entry into OZ4. But the first 3 zones on this track are very difficult to master. Kid Seif here with a score of 83 to begin his Season 5 run. Well done, Kid Seif. What would you say is the most difficult part of the track, actual? I agree with you about it being one of the initiation. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
something like this. If you don't set up the initiation right, you'll be wrong for the whole rest of the track, and you'll be fighting trying to get back online.
Yeah, it sets up your line for the entire track, really, and you can see that really take place on Inner Clip 2 and Outer Zone 3. If you're on the wrong line, you're gonna go off the track. You're gonna be dipping tires, and if you dip 3 tires, that's a DNF. We have Mello on the line. JDM1 Mello. Definitely utilizing those red and white strips there. All right, well done. Completed a run. Definitely a couple of moments where you see those tires being dipped off the track. That's going to sacrifice a few points for the line score, but a completed run is the score put on the board, and all it takes is getting into that top 32 driver bracket for tomorrow to show what you've got in tandems. Of course, qualifying runs, you do have to set up a chaseable run, so you have to basically pretend like you're the lead driver and you got someone on your tail. But chasing and leading are similar, but very different, very distinct sets of skills. And a total score of 80 for Mello. Well done. 27, 27, 26. Looks like we got President JFK Sr. on the line in the R32. Let's go. All right. So last time a strategic DNF in OZ4. Kind of battling with his car for a grip at some points throughout the track. OZ4, all you got to do is keep it settled in through this long zone, and JFK does it.
Solid run.
Solid run.
Solid run.
Yes, sir. Definitely very smooth through all of the transitions. You can see, of course, if you're paying attention, those the difference between the smooth front end, how the front end will just glide like it does in real life. When you have a rolling stick player or a wheel player, JFK Sr., perhaps a rolling stick player. 29, 27, 29 for line, 27 for angle and style coming up last. Gonna be definitely a high 80 score here. 28, so for a total of 84. Well done, President JFK Sr. I want to say Prez, but yeah, President JFK Sr. Love the gamer tags.
That shows some of the creativity of these drivers as well.
Yeah. Elmo's killer and President JFK.
Oh, don't forget about Bionic Bunghole.
Bionic Bunghole, there you go. There you go. All right, I think that is it for this convoy. We'll be back on the track after a few short messages.
Forza Creators Guild.
Forza Creators Guild.
And we are back. FDE Season 5, Round 1 here in Spain. Gotta be honest, it's been a good day of qualifications, but I am getting tired. I gotta be honest, my voice is raw as hell. I need some cough drops. I need like a personal assistant to be feeding me cough drops or some shit, dude, because my voice hurts. But nonetheless, we do have another convoy waiting in the lobby for us to get started. Looks like we have 9 drivers left. I think we might be waiting for one more driver to get in the convoy. We'll see what we can do here. But as we wait, we can go ahead and then chat with those of you who are still over on YouTube. Hope you guys have been having a good time today. Thank you guys for joining us today. I know that a lot of people definitely get their run out of the way and then they take off, but for those of you sticking around and enjoying the action, we appreciate you. Sadly, not keyboard. Started off in the wrong gear. Oh, no. Thanks for having maybe next year. Oh, dude, maybe next season. You got a few weeks until the next round. We're actually, yeah, we don't have a set in stone time frame for the next round, but we will announce it at some point in the next couple of weeks, and then when we announce it, you'll have at least 2 weeks to prepare for the event. So if we announce it, we'll have 2 weeks before the after the announcement before the event. So you definitely don't gotta wait. New and unfamiliar, I'll be ready. Yeah, man. Hey, that's the best part of coming in early in the season. You can make your mistakes early and you know, dial in your car. of course, follow the rule book. I'm not exactly privy to every single line of the rule book right now, but of course you can change your tune. I believe you can change your upgrades and try and settle into a new build for the next round. And of course the tracks have already been voted on, so you can go over to www.forzadriftevents.com and you can check out the track list for the future rounds. So right now we don't know when round 2 will be, but you do know what track it will be. So you can start drifting on that track and dialing in your tune today if you wanted. Obviously, if you're planning on getting into the top 30, excuse me, to the top 32 for tomorrow, you probably don't want to do that. But if, you have time tonight and you are expecting to be back on round 2, get over to the website, check out the share code, load up the blueprint, and get practicing. Should be fun.
Yeah. As a seasoned driver, the best advice I can give to anyone is get yourself some seat time. That is going to be king over everything. Yes, a good tune helps. Yes, some other stuff helps, but seat time is king.
Yeah, seat time. That practice in the car, doing laps, making those mistakes. And it's really important just noticing where you make your mistakes, because your style, your driving style, your car, your build, how you go through the track is going to be different than the other drivers. So finding out where you make your mistakes, really dialing in on those areas, if you need to practice your initiation, all that kind of stuff can be dialed in with seat time. And of course, like we've mentioned several times, there are plenty of community members, drivers, teams that are hosting pop-up competitions here and there throughout the week. And of course, you can go over to the website, find the Discord, join the Discord, and meet up with other drivers who are practicing so you can grow with them, right? That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. The more people you're around, the more perspectives and the more different driving styles you can be around, the more you'll learn and the better you'll get.
Exactly.
Even myself, after I joined CCX and got with a lot of them guys, I really, really got some major improvements on me. I learned a lot of stuff that I would have never thought about before.
Yeah. I know I haven't even competed, and yet just being in the community, I've learned a lot. I've changed my tunes drastically. I've realized how important it is to be basically trying to get maximum angle, but at max grip, so that way you're settled in. I've seen a lot of drivers today kind of be struggling for that balance between grip and slip. Some drivers have different preferences, of course, so no way. We have a Nissan Stagea in the lobby. Sorry to interrupt myself there, but I'm in love with that car. It is a wagon that basically has the front end modification as a body kit to make it look like an R34. If you know, you know. I love that car. It actually just came to Forza a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago.
Yeah, it was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's a new car. But we're loading in right now. We're heading over to the starting line. Just a moment here while I drive the camera car over to the beginning area. Oops. All right. Love this track, though. I've been really enjoying seeing how people attack the initiation in different ways. We've seen people kind of be more conservative, and then other drivers just going balls to the wall on this initiation. There were a couple of CCX drivers, I believe Ryosuke really had my favorite initiation of the day, just going at like a 90-degree angle and spinning those tires up for grip to pull himself back into interclip 1. I'm not a professional drifter, but I just love the way that it looks. That commitment is just something awesome for me to look at. But let's take it to the line, and we do have the Nissan Stagea wagon up first. It's Captain Holt in maybe my favorite car of the day.
It's got a beautiful color on it. The wheels really set it off. It looks amazing.
It looks great. I wish there was livery on it, but I won't knock you for it. Love the color. Let's see what Captain Holt has in round 1 of Season 5. I have seen Captain Holt around before at the end of Season 4. Okay, I did not hit him there. That was very close. That was very scary. Apologize for that. Late into OZ4. I would say this is going to be a strategic DNF. Yeah, it's a strategic DNF. Bit of oversteer there at the end. Again, you want to try to make it a little bit more clear, perhaps stopping a little bit earlier, but clearly a DNF there. That was very bad. I made it through all of Season 4 without hitting a driver with the camera car. I think I might have done that once, but it was like, I don't even remember doing it once. Shreddit swore that I did it once, but I don't think I did. Anyways.
I was going to say, I can't confirm on that one. I wasn't there for it.
It was very close at that point. I got to be careful. The camera car is different. Last year, we were using a sedan for the camera car. Now we're using a semi, so kind of accelerates and decelerates like a brick. Doing my best.
Dynamic is a brick.
Yeah, literally, it is a brick. Hey, wait for me on the line from NXL. NXL, a new team on the track. We saw, I believe, NXL Shadow earlier today, putting up a qualifying score of, I believe, low 80s. So let's see what Wait For Me has for us here. A flicking technique driver here. Still looking good with angle and line, though. Let's see how he settles into OZ4. Looking good, getting on the throttle here and trying to maximize that angle. Very good looks for Hey Wait For Me. Looked very confident. You can really see, honestly, if once you see more and more drivers, you can see who is confident with each corner, and that just comes with seat time. Going into a corner and being confident with your speed and your angle, knowing that the car, trusting the car is going to go where you want it to go. Angle style 27. A line score of 29 for a total of 83. Very solid run from Hey Wait For Me. IX Baz, the founder and leader of Casual Crew, a gentleman who has been a judge on FDE and part of the background production of FDE for several seasons now, and also hosting many weekly, if not daily, pop-up competitions with Casual Crew. You're going to want to know this name. You're going to want to know his community, Casual Crew. Check them out on the FDE Discord. They'll be linked there. You can find the Discord at ForzaDriftEvents.com. But without further ado, IX Baz on the track. I'm going to hit him on purpose. No, I'm joking.
This is another driver I expect big things of, though. He's a very fair driver and a very good driver on the
Absolutely, and you love to see a Supra with this much talent behind the wheel. Woo-hoo-hoo! Smooth as can be, baby. Oh, like a hot knife through butter. Maximum angle, going a little bit too hard. Kind of going into a late oversteer situation there, just trying to flex a little bit too hard. You know he's going to come back and throw down, though. That's a DNF from IX Baz. Man, that was beautiful, though. That was something to behold. I would eat my hat if he comes back and DNFs again. I don't think he will.
I don't think he would. I think he'd fucking...
I think he'll be a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, definitely conservative. Try and make sure he gets in.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we said before, you don't win in qualifying. You got to win in the competition.
There you go. Another CCX member, and I think James Neilio either took several silvers or a gold last season. A high elite driver, high podium driver, James Neilio. One of my favorites for sure. Let's see what he's got in round one. And I got word from Infafaded last season. I did hit Infafaded with the camera car. Ooh, look at that correction there. Very smooth. Love the livery. So clean, so smooth. Lots of speed into OZ3, dipping a tire out there. Let's see if James Nealio says, hey, it's okay, I'll take a couple of points off the scoreboard. Or if he'll go for a strategic DNF. There's the oversteer, and there's the DNF. Getting comfortable in the car again. Might have been sitting around for a few hours today as we go through the rest of the convoys. So just getting into the car, getting on track, throwing down an intro run, if you will, and just going for that final secondary run. Wouldn't be surprised if Baz and James come back and throw down 90s. But
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. But we have another driver on the board. It is another NXL driver, Little One. A little bit too far out wide here. It's going to be difficult to keep angle through that zone. You can see that initiation area, those first two couple of zones really set up your line well or poorly. Just a little bit struggle for angle here through OZ4, but completing the run. NXL Little One doing not too bad. Definitely a respectable run. You see a lot of drivers going for their first run just because, again, an easy mistake can be made at any point on the track and cause that second DNF, double DNF as we put it, but could find himself or themselves into the 70s here. We have a style score of 25 and a angle score of 23 and a line score of 26, so a total of 74. Definitely close to the brim here, but I think that could be just enough to make it into tomorrow's top 32. Very well done, Little One. I think I know who this is. This is another CCX driver, so you know what to expect. Veteran driver from Season 4, and I believe even before that, OG Fishy Lips. Ooh, I saw that speed going into OZ3 was a little bit too high.
Yep.
Sometimes you can see them pull that E-brake and lose all that speed, dump that speed just at the last moment there, but a little bit too hot on the tires, and you're gonna slide. As soon as your tire touches that grass, you might as well be on ice.
Oh yeah, there's no traction in that grass at all.
No. OG Fishy Lips with another DNF, a triple DNF from CCX members. Here I am glazing the shit out of them, and they're throwing down DNFs, but I bet you they come back and hit us with 90, 90, 90. We'll have to see that in the future. We have a security officer on the track, it looks like.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Probably the first time I've seen police lights on a drift car. It is Pale Horseman from AMM2, a new team on the track. Let's see what he's got. Messed up the horn a little bit, but that's okay. If I don't have my mouse clicked on the game, then you can't actually hear the sound. Ooh, struggling with grip early on. That Camaro just too grippy. This might be an unchaseable run. Yeah, I think this is going to be a DNF. Pale Horseman will have another chance to go through the track, but this Camaro is just too grippy for this Ricardo Tormo track.
My advice for someone for something like that, the downforce, like the big spoiler on the back, get rid of it. It'll help you out a lot. It'll help make your car a lot more consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, too much downforce for sure. I mean, that big-ass body kit is definitely giving you more grip, but if you're too grippy, that's one area of improvement you can easily make. Of course, you can always go into your tune and just slide that option all the way towards speed instead of downforce, or just take it completely off. But Pale Horseman will be back on the track. Hopefully he can find some angle the second time around. On the line now, we have Sasquatch, Big Wang Gang, and on the Supra.
I don't know, that car looks sick though.
Love that Paralison or two-tone paint. Kind of the same thing, that big wing perhaps providing too much grip, too much downforce for these cars, kind of struggling to break loose on certain situations. And there's that DNF. That driver is going to say, I can do that again. Hopefully get some more angle early on. It seemed like they kind of settled into things later on the track, but if you missed zones like that early on, it's definitely going to hit your score pretty hard. So quite a few DNFs here. Hopefully we don't, I never want to see a double DNF. I want to see these drivers fighting through to the very end, not putting 3 tires off, putting up a chaseable run. But of course, it's a difficult track, especially for round 1.
Oh, it really is. Like you said before, you really got to drive on this, and if you don't get the initiation right, it's just going to mess up your whole line for the rest of it. Yeah, being such a technical track early on, it's difficult to settle in. We have STXRZ from Team PMD on the line here. Let's see what he does. Love the livery. You sandbagging me. Come here. All right. Good initiation. Looking good through inner clip 1. A flicking driver. OZ3 looking really good through OZ3. Right on the edge of that track, but a little bit too wide through inner clip 3, and that's going to be a few points off there for line, but a solid run nonetheless. Good angle, good style. Just I've seen a few drivers dip their tires onto the grass there, just coming out of that OZ3 transition. Going a little bit too wide. Man, if he wouldn't have missed that inside clip like that, that was looking really good as far as line. He was right where he needed to be for the most part.
Yeah. Which inside clip did he miss again?
The second one, I do believe.
Yeah, the one
outside the third.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like we have a style score of 28. An interesting run. Looks like our judging team is going to have a few moments to deliberate on this one. Of course, as the day continues, you have more examples of scores to go off of. You want to make sure that you're maintaining consistency within the day's qualifying runs. Looks like we're still waiting on that line score. But so far, 28 and 29 from style and angle. Definitely looking like a high 80s, perhaps low 90. But those few moments, dipping your tires off, being shallow in a zone, we see that those few mistakes pulling down the line score quite a bit. at 28 for an 85 total for stars. Not STXRZ, that would definitely be stars. Well done, stars. Great score. All right, that's the end of the official first run drivers of the day. We just have some DNF drivers to go through. It is the Nissan Stygia back on the line with Captain Holt. I don't remember the name of the actor, but rest in peace to the actor of Captain Holt. Incredible gentleman, and hopefully you can do him justice here with a beautiful run in Ricardo Tormo.
No.
I saw that coming in. Now what happened there is he's shallow. Too shallow going into inner clip 1, and at that point you have to cut in even more. You have to provide even more angle, and if you throttle in on the wrong moment, you're just going to immediately get into an oversteer situation. Unfortunately, a double DNF for Captain Holt. I was looking forward to seeing that Stygia get across the line, but I'm sure that won't be the last we see of Captain Holt. I'm sure they'll be back in round 2 with vengeance. But as you can see on your screen now, we have IX Baz, that smooth as butter Supra from the earlier on. The leader and founder of CCX, and also part of FDE judging in Season 4. I'm expecting a 90 plus here, I gotta be honest. Let's see what he's got. Making a quick correction through OZ2. All right, now I will say, I think the initiation on his previous run, he was set up a lot better. I think his initiation this time around, he was on a little bit of an awkward line there early on. But the standard that Baz has is so dang high. Even these small minor adjustments he's making, these small minor mistakes, still going to result in an incredible score. We already see the line of 29 and style of 30. Would not surprise me if we have an angle score of 30 plus. It could be a 90s score yet. Just shy of 90, a score of 89 for IX Baz. But of course, a lot of strategy being displayed. He knew that he had to put down a scoreable run, so perhaps being a little bit more conservative with the angle and the stees. Of course, being followed up by James Neelio, another member of CCX and a veteran FDE driver. We're going to expect to see maybe perhaps the same conservative strategy being employed here by James Neelio. Beautiful initiation, great shallow angle for that outer zone 2. Looking really good through there. Tires are still smoking. A little bit less angle, but a great line through there. Looking solid through OZ3. Very wide, but not too wide out of inner clipping.
Oh, that looks like 3 tires off.
Okay.
Damn, that is unfortunate.
We're going to have to see what the judges say about that. It could have been 2 tires off. It could have been 3. It would be heartbreaking to see such a talented driver leave. Any driver leave with a double DNF.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a DNF. Man.
Yeah.
That is the gamble. That's the gamble right there. If you don't get your first run, You're going for strategic DNF perhaps, just to gain a few points back. Maybe you make an early mistake. But that second run, it's all on the line. And it can get the best of drivers locked up. A simple mistake going into OZ4 with a little bit too much speed. Perhaps getting on throttle at the wrong time. It was looking like such a good run, too.
Oh, it really was. That's unfortunate.
We're gonna miss James Nealio tomorrow. Great to see you though again, man. I hope to see you in round 2 coming back. All right. OG Fishy Lips coming up next. Okay. See another CCX member, OG Fishy Lips. We don't want to see another double DNF for the CCX crew. Casual crew, as I just said, but hopefully Fishy Lips can make it through in one piece. Now, it can be... I'm just thinking about that last run still, man. As OG Fishy Lips is looking very good through here. Another tire off, but still solid nonetheless. Just thinking about that last run, though, it could be so easy to, like, overcook your tires into OZ4, especially if you have such a perfect run. Like, if you have a perfect run where you're at maximum grip and still you're at high angle, it can be easy to carry too much speed into a corner that you're used to kind of being a little bit slower at because you're at, you know, more or less of an angle, or you're on the wrong line. So it's such an easy mistake to make. But OG Fishy Lips finishing up a solid run there. Looks like a style score of 30 for OG Fishy Lips. I mean, Dirty Nay, I might have to eat my hat on that last one. Baz didn't go for the double DNF. Unfortunately, James Nealio did. I did say I'd eat my hat, so...
Well, you said that on Bass. Fortunately, you didn't say it on.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Don't worry about it.
I'm with Actual, saving my ass. Total score of 83 for OG Fishy Lips. Very well done. A little bit of that line score chopped off because of how long OG Fishy Lips had his tire off of the track in OZ4.
So, actually, coming back to that, since I'm here, some of that is also because of the late initiation. He was rather late on his initiation before he flicked to go the right direction.
Okay. So, basically not initiating before the 3-2-1 cone, like before the 1 cone.
Yeah, he was just right after. He just started flicking the other direction just after the cone.
Gotcha. You gotta initiate your first initial drift before the end of the 3-2-1 cones. Definitely interesting. We haven't seen much of that today, but again, just another easy mistake to make. All right, Pale Horseman in the Camaro, that grippy Camaro. Let's see if he can get through the track sideways or if it's going to be another parking lot trip for Pale Horseman. Looks like he's trying to get a bit of sideways momentum through here, and that's 3 tires off. That's that grip. Pale Horseman, get involved in the community. I guarantee you, if you practice with some people before round 2, you'll get that Camaro dialed in. Sometimes the driver's skill... Ooh, excuse me, that's the wrong panel. Sometimes the driver's skill exceeds the car. And it looks like that car was just too much to fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it looks like we have Sasquatch up next. I just need to make my way back over to the starting line and flip a Yui. And we'll see if this Supra can make his way through the track. I remember Sasquatch was able to get collected at the end of his initial run, but early on in his run, he was having some problems getting the right angle and speed. So we'll see if he can make up for that here on his second run. We definitely don't want to see a double DNF. Going shallow here means he's going to be out wide for OZ2. We'll see how he handles that. Going a little bit straight through there. 2 tires off, definitely through there. And trying to fight through the track. I think this is still a run. It might not be a chaseable run, but that's not up for me to decide. That's up to the judges. Definitely respectable to fight through that and get to the end of the judge section. That's what we all came here to do. All the drivers came here to do. So I'm happy to see him get across that finish line. I would say that very, very close to getting 3 tires off early on there, but it looks like it is still a scoreable run, a chaseable run, and we have a 20 for style. A line score of 18 and an angle score of 19. So unfortunately, not exactly where Sasquatch wants to be. But again, it's early in the season, ladies and gentlemen. We can have time for these drivers to dial in their builds and practice. Of course, the skill display in round 1 is going to be very different than the skill display in round 6, and even so, we have seen an incredible amount of talent here from old and new names in FDE. It's been very exciting. I'm interested in seeing here what we have up next for everyone. It looks like that's actually it for our qualifying runs. We have the bracket being made. It should be about 5 minutes for that bracket. Let's go ahead and take it to a commercial break. You guys can enjoy the messages from some sponsors. Of course, we have a new sponsor this season. It is Forza Horizon 5 Street Wars, which is owned and operated by a legendary community member named Sappytron. And of course, a return from the Forza Creators Guild and the Horizon Racing Academy from last season. We appreciate the partnership with all of the other incredible communities in Forza. Enjoy these messages. We'll be back with the live 32 head-to-head bracket for the main event tomorrow after this.
Forza Creators Guild.
Forza Creators Guild.
All right, we have the bracket completed for round 1, season 5 of Forza Drift events here at Ricardo Tormo in Spain. Without further ado, your top 32 bracket. The first seed for tomorrow's head-to-head, Play Pro. Going up against Mello, our 32nd seed driver. Young Ziyagi versus Official Bird. You can already see these head-to-head battles shaping up for tomorrow's main event. We have Ranga versus Hey Wait For Me, and you can see as we get further down in the bracket, for example, Play Pro is the first seed and Mello is the 32nd seed. Play Pro just has to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, and Mello has to make sure he comes to perform, because fighting that number 1 seed driver is going to be a tall order task. But that's the name of the game. That's how bracket play works. We can see Dirty Nay, who apparently is actually the coach and veteran driver of their team. I apologize, I don't remember all the team names. Lots of new names, lots of new teams today, which is very exciting to see. Dirty Nay going up against Trash Uborka. Bubba going up against Swags. This feels reminiscent. I feel like we've seen a Bubba and Swags head-to-head in the past. Definitely looking forward to that. As we move down the bracket, we have M4 Chippy going up against Tro XD. Bottom left side of your bracket, Mountain Man Joe going up against Infa Faded. Not Too Bad, eh? Against Fishy Lips. Elfe and Kid Syfe. Crazy Yoda against Shake and Bake. We have Lursky versus FPS Noob on the bottom right. And IX Baz going up against President JFK Sr. Now, Baz definitely could have gotten into the high 90s. It could have been in the top 10 seeds for tomorrow's head-to-head. But going to be a little bit more difficult. President JFK, of course, being in a tandem, leading, especially chasing, is there's a lot more involved. Your speed management needs to be on point. You have to be comfortable with matching angle and speed. You don't want to let the lead driver run away from you, and you don't want to be slamming into the lead driver causing DNFs, because that reflects badly on you. You're going to get the DNF. And yeah, it's a whole new ball game tomorrow. Now we do have some more updates. We have Ryosuke going up against Stars. Looking forward to seeing more from Ryosuke. I don't remember that name from Season 4. So if Ryosuke is a newer driver to FDE competitions, I feel like he put on a great show today. I really liked the commitment on the initiation. Looking forward to more from him. Looks like we have Bionic Bunghole going up against Nurko as well. In the top right, that's going to be a very good battle as we have the 15th seed going up against the 18th seed there. JDM Caliber, the 14th seed, going up against the Get Baptized 19th seed. And it looks like finally we have the 16th seed versus the 17th seed. Now this is what I was talking about. When you get to the middle of the top 32, 15 through 18, you're very close in qualifying scores. This is where you're going to see really close battles early on. Dakeem taking on Cade Vine tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing the outcome of that one for sure. And Bionic Bunghole with Nurko, the 15th and 18th seed. Lots of good head-to-head battles shaping up for tomorrow. Thank you guys for all of the drivers. We should be having our judges come on in. Born Sideways, our angle judge. And FDE Shredded, our style judge. It looks like we actually are just going to take it from there. FDE Season 5 Round 1 qualifications are complete. Your live bracket is on the screen. If you want to check it out later on tonight, it will be posted live at ForzaDriftEvents.com. Thank you guys so much for watching today. It was an incredible day of qualifications. We had lots of drivers, lots of viewers over on YouTube. I appreciate all of it. Really great day. I'm excited for the new season, and so far it has been delivering. Any final words there, Actual?
Practice up, drivers. We're very excited to see you guys at the next event, and we hope you guys all get real good then.
Yeah, exactly. For anyone who didn't make it into the top 32, practice, practice, practice. Actual has been saying it all day long. Seat time reigns supreme. For anyone coming back tomorrow, get some good sleep. Get ready to bring your A game, and it should be a great day of drift competition, head-to-head battles here, Forza Drift Event Season 5, Round 1. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a great night. Thank you for watching, and take care.